Rain hammered hard against the windows of Marlene's country diner that night, the kind of rain that carried the weight of someone's tears. Inside, warm yellow lights flickered above red vinyl booths, the smell of coffee drifting through the air like a quiet comfort. It was nearly closing time, and only a few customers lingered, speaking in hushed tones. At a corner booth sat Emily, a 17-year-old girl with a crooked posture, her right leg braced with metal supports and her hands trembling slightly from a condition she had lived with since birth. She was used to stares. Used to whispers. Used to people deciding she was less because she moved differently, spoke softly, and never defended herself. Tonight, she had just finished a long day at the community center where she volunteered reading books to young children. She loved doing it. Stories made her feel powerful, like heroes existed, and anything broken could be healed, but stories could only protect her so much. At the table across the diner, 3 boys, local troublemakers, had been watching her. They were older, louder, and carried themselves like they owned the whole town. They weren't drunk, just drunk on cruelty. Look at her leg, one of them snickered. How does she even walk? Another added. Bet she needs help tying her shoes. The third laughed. Emily lowered her gaze. She wished she could disappear. She hugged her bag tight and focused on breathing, trying to tune them out, but kindness, no matter how gentle, often attracts cruelty. When one of the boys stood and walked toward her, she felt her heartbeat quicken. Hey, he grinned wickedly, you dropped something. Emily looked up, his hand swung fast. Slap, the sound cracked across the entire diner. Plates rattled. A waitress gasped. Emily's cheek burned, her breath caught in her throat. She didn't cry, she'd learned long ago that tears made them laugh more, but she felt herself shrink inward, like her soul was curling into a tiny corner of her chest. The boys roared with laughter. Oops, one of them mocked. My bad, clumsy. Emily couldn't move. She just stared at her trembling hands. No one in the diner stood up. No one rushed to help. Everyone looked away, not from lack of compassion, but from fear. The boys were sons of powerful families in town. People had learned to stay quiet. Emily slowly gathered her things. Her cheek was still burning when she whispered to the waitress that she would pay her bill at the counter. She stood, struggling to balance. Her brace clicked softly as she took her steps, and that was when the diner door swung open. A gust of cold wind blew in, and with it, the rumble of heavy boots. 6 men walked inside. Beards, leather jackets, chains, tattoos, road dust. Their jackets bore a single emblem on the back: Guardians of the Highway MCA Motorcycle Club, known by many, feared by some, but respected by everyone who understood who they truly were, protectors, not troublemakers. They rode into towns after disasters, helped stranded families, funded school supplies for poor kids. They weren't saints, but they were far from villains. Their leader, Bull, a towering man with hands like carved stone, noticed Emily immediately, her red cheek. Her trembling fingers. Her terrified posture. He looked at her bag, decorated with little hand-drawn stars, the kind a gentle soul would make. He knelt to her level. You okay, sweetheart? His voice was deep but gentle. Emily couldn't speak, but her eyes filled with the tears she had held back. Bull slowly stood, scanning the diner like a storm about to break. Who touched her? Silence, but bullies never stay quiet for long. One of the boys laughed, leaning back in his chair. Just teaching her some manners. What's it to you, old man? Bull's jaw tightened behind him. His bikers subtly adjusted their jackets, like wolves preparing to defend their wounded. Bull didn't shout. He didn't curse. He simply walked toward the table, steady and slow, the way a mountain moves when it wants to be heard. You think hitting a girl makes you strong? He asked quietly. She's not a girl, the oldest bully said with a sneer. She's a cripple. A silence fell so thick the rain outside seemed to pause. Then Bull leaned in close enough for the boy to smell the leather of his jacket. My daughter, Bull whispered, was born with the same brace. She died at 10 years old from a condition she couldn't fight. The bullies swallowed hard. Their arrogance flickered. Bull straightened. You don't lay a hand on someone fighting battles you'll never understand. The bully smirked and stood, trying to puff up his chest. What are you gonna do about it? Bull didn't touch him. He simply said, boys, teach them respect. The bikers didn't throw punches. They didn't break bones. They did something worse for the bully's pride. They grabbed the boys by the collars and dragged them out of the diner like misbehaving children. Outside, in the pouring rain, they made them stand under the flickering sign of the diner while Bull spoke loud enough for the whole block to hear. You apologize to her. Properly. Sincerely. Or I call every sheriff between here and the next county to report what you did. And trust me, your daddies can't save you when the guardians speak." The boys were shaking. Their bravado was gone. When they came back inside, soaked and pale, they approached Emily with trembling voices. We're sorry," one of them whispered. "We shouldn't have touched you," the second muttered. "Won't happen again," the third added. Emily nodded gently. She wasn't the type to hold grudges, but she would never forget. A bull guided her back to her booth. "You're safe now," he said softly. "No one touches you again. Not while we're around." Emily's voice finally broke free. "Thank you," Bull smiled, a small, sad smile filled with memories of the daughter he lost. "You remind me of her." "Same courage." The bikers ordered food, filling the diner with laughter and warmth again. Emily sat with them, slowly opening up as they shared stories of the road, of kindness, of people they've helped. For the first time that night, she felt seen, not for her disability, not for her silence, but for her spirit. When her mother arrived to pick her up, she froze at the sight of the bikers until Emily hugged Bull tightly. "Mom," she whispered, "they protected me." Bull gently patted her shoulder. "You shine bright, kid. Don't let anyone dim you." Before she left, Bull handed her a small silver pendant shaped like a wing. "My daughter wore this," he said quietly. "She'd want you to have it." Emily clutched it to her heart, tears falling freely now. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll treasure it forever." As she walked out into the rain, protected by her mother's arm, the pendant glowed softly against her chest as if a small angel had taken her hand. At their table, the bikers watched her go. Bull murmured, "Ride safe, little fighter." And somewhere in the hum of the storm, hope found a place to breathe again.